saucy. SIBO's Brian Molko is a saucy kind of fellow too. Saucy and a little odd. Yes, I'd say there's something of the night about Brian Molko. And there he is, up ahead. Wave to him, everyone. Hello, Brian. He has a tale to tell you. A little something by horror writer du jour, Poppy Z. Brite. Don't attempt to leave the train. This is in vermis veritas.
It's nothing to do with mortality, but it's to do with the great beauty of the color of meat. So said Francis Bacon, an artist of the 20th century, explaining why he painted scenes of gore and squalor. While admiring his sentiment, I would also postulate that Bacon's appreciation for the color of meat made him a connoisseur of the very mortality he pretended to eschew. I consider myself a connoisseur of mortality, while my millions of brethren and sistren chew their way through whatever offal comes along, inexorable but mindless. I preserve my energies for the sweetest of meat, the carcass tainted by fear, the carcass that suffered the protracted death, the agonizing death, meat crisped alive by fire, meat sliced open by steel, meat with a bullet in its gut. Here, in the slaughterhouse, I dine well. It is everything to do with mortality. It is the great beauty of the color of meat, of its many colors, the spongy purple of drowned flesh, the translucent rose of fresh viscera, the seething indigo of rot. Bacon must have painted in the slaughterhouse. It is the great beauty of the flavor of meat, of its many flavors. When we reduce a carcass to bone, we not only reveal its structure, we become composed of its elements. For most of the others, this is a matter of breaking down proteins and replenishing simple larval tissues. For me, it's a kind of catharsis. I take on the qualities of the deceased. I am nourished by his perceptions, and perhaps somehow I aid in releasing his soul. Consequently, I have lived thousands of lives. I have memorized countless tomes and written more than a few. I have constructed dynasties, then torn them down or watched them fall. I have been a fetus in a womb and a guru in a cave. I have digested the concepts of freedom and love and eternity and excreted them over and over again. Men kill other men, sometimes for sport, sometimes for love, sometimes just sending them to the slaughterhouse to feed still more men, or, if left too long, to feed me and my kin. Each one thinks he has lived in the worst of times, but nothing has ever been different. I curl in the slightly damaged brain of a young man who died for no particular reason, after a protracted and honorable hunt. The glistening walls are dissolving, coming unglued, breaking down into their chemical components. I gorge myself on the primordial soup of his mind. The terrible realization that dawned upon him at the moment of death sharpens the taste. I become drunk on his flood of experiences and emotions. I synthesize his knowledge. I live his entire life in the time it takes me to eat a path through his liquefying brain. I wallow in his world. I die his weary death. As always, it makes me glad to be a maggot in the slaughterhouse and not a man.
You're listening to Tricks and Treats on Radio 1.